Hello folks, my name is Mark, this is USD Videos, how you guys doing? And today we're taking a look at Sunman and Pighead from the Masters of the Universe Origins. So, those of you out there who may have been He-Man fans back in the 80s and stuff, you may be saying to yourself, well, who in the world are Sunman and Pighead? I've never heard of them. And the answer is, they were not part of the original He-Man Masters of the Universe line. What these came from was another competing line called Rulers of the Sun, right? And Rulers of the Sun is sort of like one of those, they're sort of like a knockoff line, although, you know, not really knockoffs, they were more like competition. And the thing is, way back in the day, Masters of the Universe was extremely popular. So there were all of these other different competing toys that used the same 5.5 body style, the same sort of super buff bodies with, like, you know, incredibly buff, like, you know, people in that sort of crouching stance with one hand open and one hand closed, you know, that kind of thing. And they've been, you know, so if you go on eBay and you look for He-Man knockoff or He-Man KO, you'll see all of these other toys that were never part of the original thing. And there were other companies trying to muscle in and get some of that action, right? The thing with these is that they came out from a company called Olmec Toys, and specifically they were made for an African American audience. And the reason is that the woman who ran Olmec Toys, you know, saw her son playing with He-Man and stuff like that, and went and checked out the line and noticed that there weren't any black people in He-Man, right? And the thing is, you know, there weren't, right? Out of all of the toys, you know, there's something like 100 some odd toys in the Masters of the Universe line. There's exactly one black character, and that was Clamp Champ, and he didn't come out until like 1987, right? So, you know, she wanted some toys for her son so he could, you know, some representation, right? And so she made her own line of competing, you know, sort of He-Man type toys, you know, using that same body style that you could play with these and He-Man together, and they looked, you know, they fit together. That's usually what, you know, they call them knockoffs, but knockoff kind of makes it sound like it was like a rip-off. It's like, it wasn't a rip-off, it was more of a competing line, right? And they did the same thing with other toys too, you know, they had their own versions of G.I. Joe. They had another version of She-Ra, Princess of Power. I think it was called like Butterfly Woman, something like that. You know, so, and that's what that was their sort of niche. You know, they made toys that, you know, representations of, you know, that were representative of African Americans and other minorities, right? And the thing is, with Sunman, it wasn't just, you know, there were also toys in the line for Asian people, there were toys in the line for Latinos, stuff like that. And of course, even white people in the Sunman line. You know, in the Rulers of the Sun, there were also white people there too. So, you know, there was something for everybody, right? But the main character was, of course, named Sunman, and it was actually kind of cool that Mattel decided to, you know, kind of get the rights to these and make them an official part of Masters of the Universe. So you can kind of see Sunman here from Rulers of the Sun. Excuse me for that glare on my you know, on the figure there. I'll try to hold them to the side. But yeah, this is the classic head sculpt. So these came out back in the 80s, and then they re-released them in the 90s with a different head sculpt. So this is the original head sculpt, right? And there's another one where he has sort of like a more 90s haircut. And this is the original 80s one. Kind of see he's got, like, you know, very bright colors. He has these wings and then a, you know, disc and all that stuff. And then on the back of the package here, you've got He-Man and Skeletor fighting alongside Sunman and Pighead, right? Pighead, of course, being the villain in this line. I really like this artwork here. That's cool. You know, you can press in his phoenix wings, and he's got his flight sword. And here's some other ones that came out in the line. You got Sunman, Horde Trooper, Clawful, Anti-Attorney, He-Man. Video coming soon. Same thing with Pighead over here. You know, Pighead was the one villain that was released in the Rulers of the Sun, excuse me. You know, he's sort of a big purple and you know, purple and blue and green sort of hog dude, you know, with some tusks going out in random directions. Pretty crazy stuff. And then he's got his thing back here. I like how they're sort of like linking his origin to, like, you know, he wants to capture the sun's power, stuff like that, so really cool. Some other guys in this line, of course, these are actually cool. I have these videos coming soon for these too. This is the 2000X version of He-Man and Skeletor, and then of course Montana. So that's in this line. They're coming pretty soon. I will have a video for those guys too. But anyway, so these were always actually kind of awesome, because if you go online and look for these, they're super expensive to get the vintage ones, right? So let's go ahead and bust these open. So I was actually kind of happy to see that they released them in this line. You know, it's actually really, I thought, a really cool thing. So it comes with this Rulers of the Sun comic. We'll get to that in a minute. And let's pull him out of there. All right. So you can get a better look at him before we take him completely out of the package. Very cool stuff. Very slick. I like it's very clean. The paint application on there. Not bad at all. And let's see, he's got a couple of rubber bands around his arms. Let's be very careful not to damage the figure there when we take these off. Alright, I know that they got to keep him in there somehow, but still, I wish they could figure out a way of doing this where you didn't have these rubber bands all over the place. You know. Let's remove that one, very nice. And one more on his leg. There we go. Take him out. Alright. So he comes with this sort of sun sword, kind of sword spear looking thing. I think this is actually based on a real life like African weapon. I don't know the name of it, but I've seen pictures that are very similar to this. And of course a sun shield, which has a clip to go over his arm and a little thing. Alright, so here's Sunman. Got some wings that kind of come around his neck there. Sort of like a collar. Very large winged collar. Does this come off? It looked like it came off in the, You know what? I think it's supposed to come off, but I can't get it off. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, I guess you have to take the head off first, but that's alright. So, like all of He-Man Origins toys, the body parts are swappable, so... You know, I was kind of hoping there'd be a way for you to put the wings on like that, on the back. You know, I think, because that would actually look really good. Like a way to, like, sort of make them like angel wings, you know what I mean? Like, or like that. I think that would look way better, but... I guess that's how it's supposed to go, though. This is how the original toy looked. The original toy did have this sort of winged collar thing that went around his neck like that. So let's put it back on, because, you know, that's how it was supposed to look. Alright. There we go. You know, that actually snapped on really easily. I'm always don't like taking off and putting on the heads like that, but that actually went on very, very easily. So, I don't know. I guess it looks okay. And then let's see, he's got a sword in one hand, shield in the other like that. I guess you just sort of put this in his arm, and then this fits rather well, I would say. So let's go ahead and set him up right there. And let's see, let's take a look at this comic, Sunman Rises. No idea who this dude is. Oh, it's Clawful. That's Clawful. Okay. Let's see. Sunman Rises. Okay. And looks like they're putting his origin in with the Evil Horde. And there's Faker in this one too for some reason. Oh no, it's not Faker. That's Anti-Eternia He-Man is who that is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They're fighting. Blah blah blah. Sunman shows up and saves the day along with He-Man for Eternia. Pretty cool. I'll have to read that later. Not bad at all. I actually kind of like how it looks. I like... Wow, there's actually detail. Like, there's, like, veins on his arms and stuff. Do all of these toys have that? Do they all have veins on their arms? Like, you can kind of see, like, look at that. Detailed, man. That's actually kind of cool. So, let's go ahead and set him up there for now. Now we got to open up Pighead. So... I never had these as a kid, I could tell you. I do remember seeing these in the stores, though. And it's not that, you know, I didn't buy them or whatever, it's just that I didn't like, you know, here's the horrors of Pighead. Okay, there we go. I'll take a look at that in a minute. It's not that I didn't want them or anything. It's just, you know, I wanted to get He-Man first. And then, you know, they were only in stores for a short period of time, so kind of cool. Okay, Pighead's looking good. Let's see, he's got same kind of shield. In fact, it's the same sculpt, but just painted a little bit differently. And let's take off these. Let's set him down like that. Let's get rid of this stuff on his arms and legs so we can get him out of the package. And check him out. That'll be, oh, he's only, oh, there we go. He's got one there. Very nice, very nice. I always kind of liked the colors on this figure, you know? I remember seeing this. I do remember seeing these in the stores way, way back in like 1984. You know what I mean? Maybe it was 1983 even. It was a long time ago. Oh, okay. So he comes with a sort of ball and chain Morning Star thing. That's his weapon. Let's take a look at Pighead here. Got neon green skin. He's got some tusks that are kind of going off in every direction. You know, pretty crazy. The armor, okay. It looks like this armor is removable if you wanted to take it off. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm actually kind of digging this, man. This is like, you know, I do remember seeing these. I remember seeing them. I remember seeing Pighead in particular and going, wow, that looks really cool. And then I actually didn't know that they were something different. I thought they may have been part of He-Man, you know, because you're 6 years old. You don't know the fucking difference, right? But still, I remember putting this because I, like, was going to get one, and it was either this, like, Pighead or, like, He-Man, so I put Pighead back. And I got He-Man because I could only get one, you know, I remember. Still, and the thing is, these were only in stores for a very short period of time. You know, they were there maybe a year, maybe not. You know what I mean? Let's see. Okay, here's his shield that kind of goes on the back. Can his hand fit through the little handle? Oh, yes, it can. All right. No, that might be a little difficult. Let's see. Well, you could just sort of fit it on like that, but no, I wanted to go around his actual hand. It would have been nice to get another grasping hand for this side. Ah, there we go. Okay, okay, looking good. So here's Pighead, sort of like not bad at all, you know. So let's see how well they bounce. That's the cool thing about these Origins toys, these Masters of the Universe Origins, is that they're like very, very well balanced, and it's very easy to get them to stand up like that. And even very easy to get them to stand in like sort of power poses, you know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of these guys, is to get like dynamic posing out of them. I think I'm very happy with these, and I would love to see more in the line. You know, the thing about these is that nowadays, if you want to get the originals for these, if you went on eBay and looked up Rulers of the Sun or Sunman, just usually you only find this one, right? And it'll be like $300, right? They're extremely expensive. I did see Pighead once at a con, at a convention, for 87 bucks. And I didn't pick it up. I was like, that's a little much, right? And now I regret not picking it up, because if you ever see Pighead show up on eBay, the classic one, it's like $300, $400, $500, right? So the originals are extremely expensive, and they're things that if you're into these things, if you're into classic Masters of the Universe, right, and if you're into buying knockoff lines, specifically things from Olmec or things like from Remco, you know, Remco had a whole bunch, like they had one called you know, Pirates of the Galaxies, right, and another one called Warrior Beasts, and that kind of thing. They're actually really cool, and they're extremely hard to find, and when you do find them, they're like extremely expensive. So I was actually very happy to see that, you know, Mattel is re-releasing some of these. And I know that they have a few more in the line, like, because there's other ones. There's a guy named Space Sumo, and then there's like a guy named Holographo, like, they came out with like, you know, 6 or 7 different figures in the line, right? And good luck finding any of the classic ones. Like, good luck finding any of the old, especially the other figures besides Sunman or Pighead. You'll never find them. So it's really kind of awesome that they're re-releasing these and they're making updated versions of them, you know, and including them in the official Masters of the Universe line. It's really cool that they're doing that, and I really, really hope that these go over well. And not only do they release the rest of the Rulers of the Sun, I would really, really love to see some of these other knockoff lines get introduced as well. In particular, Warrior Beasts. Warrior Beasts is one of my favorite He-Man knockoff lines ever. You know, they're really cool, and one day when I have all of them, I'm going to do a video. Right now I'm still missing 2 or 3 of them, right? But one day I'll do a video of the Warrior Beasts. They're like the most badass things I've like ever made. But anyway, but yeah, pick these guys up now. They're getting hard to find. I have not seen these in stores at all. Then again, my particular area, you don't really get a lot in the ways of like any of the He-Man like Origins toys. Like, I usually just see the same ones over and over. So, you know, get them while the getting's good. That's all I gotta say, folks. Anyway, adios.